Hello and welcome to the Ellen Made Book Club. This video is going to be all about short books. I'm doing this a little bit in the spur of the moment. I just watched an announcement video for Shorty September, which is an annual reading event here on BookTube that has been going on for a few years, and it's coming back this September as well. And I have never participated in it, but I am very excited to participate this year because lately big books have been very intimidating to me for some reason, and I am leaning into my tendency to want to read shorter books. And so I feel like Shorty September is going to just be like coming home, or like it just feels like a big cocoon that is waiting for me where I can just read short books and be happy. And yeah, I'm very excited. I will have links to everything in the description. So if you're looking for announcement videos or storygraph challenges or Instagram accounts or whatever, all of that will be in the description. I will also mention that the event was created by Bert and Sean of Storytime originally, but this year it is hosted by Heather at Too Many Heathers, Karen at Roving Reader, and Crystal of Fiber Artsy. And I watched Heather's announcement video, and she did a very good job of explaining everything and showing the prompts and all of that. And you don't have to read books for the prompts, but you can if you want to, and it's all very open, and you know, you can interpret everything however you want and read whatever you want and do the prompts, not do the prompts. It is very inclusive and inviting, and you can just do whatever you want, and I love that. So there are 11 prompts that you can do, and then a 12th bonus prompt, and they're all about shorts. And Heather did this really cute little graphic, like a note that's been passed around in a classroom kind of style, with all of the different shorts for the different prompts. And yeah, it's just very cute and very fun, and I love it so much. I have some rapid fire recommendations of short books that I have read and loved, and then I have a bunch of books that I have pulled from my shelves that are either short story collections or short books that I am excited to read, so that can just, you know, serve as some inspiration if there's anything that you're interested to read as well. And then I might check out what I have in my library list and also my audiobook app. Let's start with some rapid fire recommendations. My first recommendation is I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Hartman. It follows 40 women who are in a cage underground. They don't know why they're there or how they got there or what happened. And we specifically follow the youngest one of these women, and yeah, she has never known men. Next up, I have My Sister the Serial Killer by Oingan Braithwaite. This is a darkly comic thriller set in Nigeria and following two sisters. One of the sisters is a serial killer. She tends to kill her boyfriends. The other sister, the main character of the book, has to sort of help her sister clean up after these murders. And she works in a hospital, and she has a crush on one of the doctors there. And when her sister, the serial killer, starts getting interested in that same doctor, things get a bit complicated. And yeah, The Queens of Sarmiento Park by Camila Sosa Villada is set in Argentina, and we follow a group of transgender sex workers. They find an abandoned baby in the bushes, and so they decide to take care of it. And that's not really all that the story is about, but that's sort of a starting point, and we get to see these women in their daily lives and things that happen and the backstory of the main character. And yeah, highly recommend. And then I have a more recent read, which is a graphic novel. This is Displacement by Kiku Hughes. And this is about incarceration camps in the US during the Second World War, where Japanese Americans were held captive. This is technically almost 300 pages, but it's a graphic novel, and some of the spreads are just going to look like this. And so it's going to be a very quick read. I think I read this in an hour or two, and it's very good. The artwork is gorgeous, and the story is very important and relevant. It's just a part of history that I knew very little about, and I'm very glad I read this because I learned some things, and I think that a lot of people don't know a lot about this historical event, and I think more people should know about it. And this could go for a couple different prompts, either running shorts, which is to read a book in a day or in sprints, and you can definitely do that with this one. Patent leather shorts, which is to read a graphic novel or a book that's out of your comfort zone. Or it could go for the prompt bike shorts, which is to read a short book and then pair that with a research deep dive. So you can read this and then look up some more information about it, or information about how this might be relevant to today's world. And yeah, I think this is a very good candidate for that. Okay, I think I might go off the prompts anyways, even though I thought I wasn't. Let's just do that. The first prompt is bike shorts, pair a book with a research deep dive, and I don't have anything for that yet. I don't know what will catch my interest. If there's anything that I read about that I want to learn more about, I will, look up some more stuff about that. But I don't have anything planned for that as of yet. The half and half shorts is another prompt, and that is to read the book and then watch the movie. And I do have a few options for that. The first one is Alice's Adventures in Wonderland by Lewis Carroll. This is a very short little book. I don't know how, if this is an abridged version or adapted in some way, but yeah, I've never read this and I'm looking forward to reading that. I don't think I need to explain this. It's a classic. So we could also go for the classic 6 challenge by Sui at Sui's Book Banter. And then I also have Fight Club by Chuck Palahniuk, which has also been made into a movie. And I have seen the movie and I love the movie, and I have never read the book. And this is on my list of 25 books that I want to read in 2025, so this would be the perfect opportunity. And this is 218 pages, so perfect for that. And then I also have The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky, and this one is also around 200 pages, I think, 230. And yeah, this has also been made into a movie, which I haven't seen. So all of these 3 would be great options. And look at that little stack. It's so cute. I love this little stack. Okay. The next prompt is ripped shorts, and that is to read a mystery or thriller or horror story. And I have a few options for that as well. The first one is Lanny by Max Porter. I have started this before, but I abandoned it for some reason. I didn't get any further. And this is a sort of a bit poetic kind of horror story, I think, and the layout is a bit unconventional, I guess. You have these little squiggly lines and lots of blank space. This is about a boy in a little town, and then there's a kind of creepy forest monster thing that is creeping around, and yeah, I don't really know a lot what it's about, but I think that Max Porter is a sort of well-regarded author and Booker Prize nominated, and yeah, I'm just very curious about this. I found this on a book sale table last year, and I love the cover so much with this leaf and things, and yeah, I'm very intrigued. This could go for horror, and then I have this little book, which is a Swedish translation of Clean by Alia Trabucco Serran. Which is a book that is set in Chile, in Santiago, and so it is translated from Spanish. There is a little girl who has died under mysterious circumstances, and we hear about what happened from the maid who is now in prison. I'm very curious to read this one as well. The Man Who Lived Underground by Richard Wright. This story was originally written in the 1940s, but it was considered too provocative to publish at the time, and so it's been published after the author's death. It follows Fred Daniels, who is a black man who is picked up randomly by the police after a brutal murder in a Chicago neighborhood. He is taken to the local precinct and tortured until he confesses to a crime he didn't commit. Though beaten and disorientated, he escapes and takes up residence in the sewers below the city's streets. Also a gorgeous cover, and I'm very excited to read that. And then I have another new purchase, which is The Night of Baba Yaga by Akira Otani. This is translated from the Japanese by Sam Bett, and I was attracted to this book because I have been feeling like I want to read a book that gives me Tarantino vibes, specifically Pulp Fiction or Kill Bill, and I don't think that I can find a book cover that looks more like the poster for Kill Bill than this one, and so this seemed perfect. And this is about 206 pages, so also a very short book, and it's also big and spaced out text, which I think is going to be very enjoyable to read. And then we have the prompt Patent Leather Shorts, a graphic novel or a book that's out of your comfort zone. So I have a few options for this as well. The first one is Franny and Zoe by J.D. Salinger. This is a classic. It was published in the 1950s, I think. I think it's about two friends in like school years or like college years. It's about 160, 170 pages or so. So yeah, I think this is a good option. And then I have a couple of books from the library that I am maybe reading in August. And if I don't, they will just, carry over to September. I had them picked out for August, which is to read young adults, fiction and nonfiction. And I am currently working my way through Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, which is graphic novels. This one is a Swedish translation as well. I think that I'm going to be reading maybe volume 4 or 5 in September. I also have from the library Queer Ducks and Other Animals. This is The Natural World of Animal Sexuality by Elliot Schreffer. And I have this on audiobook as well, but I wanted to get the physical book from the library because it also has these little comics, like illustrations in the book, and I didn't want to miss out on that. This is a young adult nonfiction book about the natural world of animal sexuality, and it is 182 pages plus glossary and sources and stuff like that. So yeah, this is one that I might get to in September if I don't read it in August. The next prompt is Shorty Shorts, and that is to read a book from the 70s or 80s. And it can be that it was published in those decades, or it can be set in those decades. But the book that I have as an option is The Summer Book by Tove Jansson. This was published in 1972. And this could also go for the next prompt, I think, which is Boxer Shorts. That is to read a comfort read. And I think that this book is going to be a comforting read. I haven't read it before, so it's not like, nostalgic for me in terms of the book, but I think that the book is going to feel nostalgic and comforting. It's about a girl who lives or is on an island for the summer with her dad, who doesn't say a lot, and then her grandmother, who is a bit more eccentric, and they are good friends. And it's a summer on this island. The next prompt is Culottes, which is to read a book that looks like one thing but is secretly another. And that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. I think I'm going to take it quite literally, but like in terms of plot. This is Diary of a Void by Emi Yagi, and this is translated from the Japanese by David Boyd and Lucy North. And the description on the back says, "For the sake of women everywhere, Miss Shabata is going to pull off the mother of all deceptions." And if that doesn't fit the prompt, I don't know what does. It is 213 pages. I'm very excited to read this. I bought it not too long ago, and I'm very excited to read this. And why not in September? Next up, we have the prompt Running Shorts, and that is to read a book in a day or in sprints, like faster than you would usually read a book. It's not very strict, so interpret that how you will. But I think that A Short Stay in Hell by Stephen L. Peck could be a good option for this because it is very slim. It is 104 pages and the text is very large and easy to read, which we appreciate over here. So I definitely think that I can read this within a day, and I'm very much looking forward to it. It's a sort of Perfect blend of science fiction, theology, and horror. And I'm very much looking forward to this one. It is about a man, a faithful Mormon who has always believed he will be reunited with his loved one in an eternal hereafter. And then he dies and he is in a hell whose dimensions he can barely grasp. A vast library he can only escape from by finding the book that contains the story of his life. It sounds amazing and I'm very intrigued to read that. And then we have the next prompt, which is Utili-kilt. Read a retelling or a book where traditional meets modern. And I think that I picked White Cat, Black Dog by Kelly Link for this one. This is a short story collection with sort of horror / fantasy retellings of fairy tales in a very modern setting that I am about halfway through. And so I might not read all of the short stories that I have left, but I might read one or two. It says, leaving behind the enchanted castles, deep dark woods, and gingerbread cottages of fairy tales for airport waiting rooms, alien planets, and cannabis farms run by a team of hospitable cats. Yeah, it offers a fresh take on the stories that you thought you knew. I think this fits this prompt perfectly. And then we have Runway Fashion shorts. Read a translated book. And I have already mentioned a couple. If you don't read books in Swedish, oh my goodness, the summer book by Tove Jansson would be in translation. Clean by Alia Trabuco Serran, The Night of Baba Yaga, and Diary of a Void. And then I have a couple of other options, and the first one is Days of Abandonment by Elena Ferrante, which is translated from Italian, and this is about a mother who is abandoned by her husband or partner and is alone to take care of her kids. And yeah, that's really all I know about it. And then I also have another book that is translated from the Japanese, and this is Idol Burning by Rin Usami. And this follows a teenage girl who is obsessed with this pop star, and he is accused of having punched a fan, and her world crumbles. This is a very short book, so this could probably also fit for the running shorts, which is to read a book in a day or in sprints. I think it's very cute, and I'm looking forward to reading this one as well. And then the last proper prompt is Grandad shorts, a book you've had for a while. And for this I have two that could work. The first one I think is very appropriate because that is The Grandmothers by Doris Lessing. So I think that fits very well with the Grandad shorts. This is a short story collection, and I have only read the first titular story, The Grandmothers, and I have 3 left in here. The first one was very well written and very intriguing, and yeah, I loved it, so I definitely want to read more from this. And then I also have Oil on Water by Helon Habila, which is another book set in Nigeria, and this is a I think of it as a thriller, but I think it's just like a contemporary literary fiction kind of book. It's about 2 journalists, one experienced and one green journalist, and they are recruited to find the kidnapped wife of a British oil engineer. I found it secondhand, and I have been wanting to get to it ever since, and I just keep not. So this is one of the options as well. And this is 216 pages. And then there is the bonus prompt, which is hand-me-down shorts, and that is to annotate a short book and pass it along to a friend. So you can do this in different ways. You can write little notes in pencil in a book and pass it along. You can put sticky notes. You can post about it on social media and have a discussion about it somehow. So yeah, I'm probably going to do something more along those lines and talk about a short book that I have read on here on my channel. And that will be the way that I fulfill that prompt. Oh, I also wanted to quickly check my audiobook app and see what short audiobooks I might have on here. My 350 books that I haven't started yet. Under 5 hours, let's say. One that I am very curious about is The Harpy by Megan Hunter. I think this is a sort of weird literary fiction kind of book, and it's very short. The audiobook is about 4.5 hours. It's about Lucy and Jake, who are married, and one day a man calls to say to Lucy that his wife has been having an affair with her husband. And so Lucy and Jake decide to stay together, but in a special arrangement designed to even the score and save their marriage. So she will hurt him 3 times, but he doesn't know when the hurt is coming or what form it will take. I think that sounds very intriguing. And then I also have Apartment Women by Gu Byung-mo, which I read The Old Woman with the Knife by the same author in August. And I have this audiobook, which is 4.5 hours. I don't really know what it's about, but I'm intrigued to try that author again. And then I also have Crooked Seeds by Karen Jennings. This is set in South Africa in 2028. It says, in a crumbling corner of a public housing complex, Deirdre receives a call from the South African police. Her family home, recently reclaimed by the government, has become the scene of a criminal investigation. The remains of several bodies have just been unearthed from her land after decades underground. Detectives pepper Deirdre with questions. Was your brother a member of a pro-apartheid group in the 1990s? Is it true that he was building bombs as part of a terrorist plot? I think that sounds very interesting. Yeah, those are some really great options. Should I check my library as well? I don't think I need any more, but let's just check. So I'm sure there are plenty of options at my library as well. One is A Psalm for the Wild-Built by Becky Chambers, which I've been wanting to try. They also have Heartberries by Therese Marie Mayotte. That is 142 pages, and that is a memoir. The author is from an indigenous group, and it's something about mental health. Women Talking by Miriam Taves could also be an option. That is 216 pages. And they also have Assembly by Natasha Brown, who has been nominated for the Booker Prize, if I'm not mistaken, with Universality. This is an earlier book that I have been intrigued to read, and this is only 103 pages. Yeah, I think I'm set for Shorty September. I hope you found some interesting options as well and some inspiration. And yeah, let me know if you're going to participate in the event, if you have any other recommendations to share, or what you will be reading in September. If you want to join the challenge on Storygraph, I will leave links to everything below, like I said. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you're having a fantastic day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye. Hello and well, is this thing on? Yes, it is. Okay. This video, sorry. Hello and well, okay. Okay. Hello and well, why can I not speak? Okay. I just watched, this video is going to be all about, hello and welcome. Okay. Are we done with that? No. Hello. The first prompt is bike shorts. Pair a book with a no. I think that, so I don't have books for all. I don't have books picked out for all. I haven't matched. I haven't I'm trying. I'm kind of reading. I don't know what I said. Where is it? It's 205 pages, something about that. What?